How you going, guys? Kurtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today we're going to get started on another upgrade for our Zayer milling machine. What we have is a slotting attachment off a Huron, and we're going to be rebuilding it and adapting it to go on the Zayer. With this, we're going to be able to cut internal keyways, splines and square holes, and because we're able to rotate the universal head 360 degrees, we can go vertical, horizontal or any angle we want, which is going to make our Zayer a lot more versatile. And you might notice we have a new to us forklift. This is a 5-ton capacity. We have had it for quite a while. It's actually been over at another workshop where we're storing machinery, but now that all the heavy stuff's unloaded, we brought it over here because it's better suited for this workshop. So now we're going to get this slotting attachment over to the bench and start pulling it apart. So this didn't come with our Huron. We actually picked it up from Butcher Machinery and Tooling here in Australia, but because we don't know its history and it is second-hand, we are going to give it a complete strip down and a rebuild. So before we get into tearing this down, we thought we'd give you an update on the universal head we were rebuilding for the Zayer. We did end up setting the gears out and getting them quoted, and they came back well within budget. The issue we had was trying to locate and source the bearings we would need to rebuild the head, and some of those bearings are no longer available. The only way we could do it is if we bought in a generic style bearing and started modifying input and output shafts, and that just blew the cost out far too much. So unfortunately we won't be able to complete the rebuild on that, but sooner or later we will have to either repair or replace the head on the Zayer, so we are keeping our options open for that. So the first thing we need to do is cut these zip ties that are holding these bolts in. Right down the side. These bolts are what mount the slotting attachment onto the universal head. After having a good look at them, it looks like the heads of the bolts have been stripped out quite a bit, so we're going to have to replace them. Now with those out, we're going to get the faceplate unbolted. I'm just going to remove this ball oiler. There are supposed to be 4 in this, but if you remember from our rebuild video on our milling and drilling attachment, I did take 3 out of this to fit to that, so I will have to try and find replacements. And now we've got 2 alignment dowels that we need to get out.
They tapered.
Yep. So that should be everything that holds down the top plate, but before we take it off, we're going to undo these screws, and what they are for is to hold on the wave wipers. Unfortunately, it didn't have any, but I have got Troy to draw them up, and we're going to be 3D printing new ones.
What in the world?
Bent. So I did manage to get them out after a little bit of a struggle. It does smell like someone's put Loctite on them, and some of them are actually bent, but I'm going to be replacing them all anyway.
Wow. Why is there one missing?
So that's the face plate off, and underneath that we did find 3 spaces that go underneath the bolts, but it looks like there is one missing. And either side of the sliding ram are 2 spacer plates. What they could be used for is over time, as the sliding attachment wears out, they could be ground down to take up the tolerance. So first impressions of the ram, it does look to be in good condition. All the flaking is still really nice, but there are a couple of areas that have a little bit of etching on them, and that could have just been from where it's been stored for a couple of years and sat in one spot. But overall, pretty happy with how that looks. Now we're going to see if we can take it out. So something's definitely retaining that. I'm going to say it's going to be the conrod. So we're going to flip it over and remove the drive arbor and see what's going on inside. So that's a drive arbor removed. This end goes into the spindle, and then this pin here is connected to the conrod. The conrod is then attached to the ram, and as it rotates, it then reciprocates the ram in and out. So the way the stroke length is set is this line here can be moved from the outside to the inside of the arbor. There is a T-nut underneath that and a bolt down the inside of the arbor. So once you set your stroke length, you tighten up that bolt, which then tightens down that T-nut, locking it in position, and that is how the stroke length is set. But something I have noticed is the bolt that holds that T-nut in place is actually missing, and there is a little bit of damage in there. So I'm going to say someone tried to use it without that T-nut being locked in place and did that damage. So while we're on the arbor, we are going to get this disassembled. Something I already have noticed is there are 2 stop dowels, one on either end of the arbor, and they are used to set the minimum and maximum stroke length that you are able to set it to. One of them is actually broken, which matches up with the existing damage. So that means we're just going to be able to knock this slide out. And now that I can see the dowel on the slide, that is definitely not original. Someone has replaced that before. But that has me a little bit concerned, because what that means is this could potentially have been bottomed out or crashed. So it will be interesting to see if we find damage anywhere else.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh my dear lord, that is tight.
There we go.
So that's the drive arbor disassembled. Now we should be able to remove the ram. I'd say the reason I couldn't remove it before is the conrod wasn't central, it was off to one side. So that's the ram removed from the housing. Now we can take off the conrod.
Hey, uh-oh.
It's been broken for a while. Righto, so that bolt just snapped, but it does look like it has been cracked for quite a long time, and I just finished it off, but that's just another indication that this might have been crashed.
Okay. Ooh.
So that's the conrod removed. It does have needle race bearings in either end, and it looks to be in pretty good shape. So I've tried a number of different ways to try and remove that, but I can't seem to get it to do anything at all. And because I don't know 100% how that's installed, I'm not going to force it and potentially break something, so I'm just going to leave it there. Now we're just going to remove the end caps off the ram, and then we can get everything in the hot wash. So this is just an aluminium blanking cap that goes over the end of the ram to prevent things getting inside it. Clearly that didn't work because we found swarf in there.
Can you see anything now?
Not really.
Oh.
And on this end, I'm removing the tool holder, which all of the tooling gets mounted into, and it can be rotated in 90-degree increments, or if need be, it can be fitted to the other end of the ram.
Smells old. Oh, a bit rusty.
And even with both ends removed, we still can't see what is holding onto the end of that conrod pin. So if anybody knows how that's installed or how that comes apart, please feel free to leave a comment. What I think they have done is they have drilled and tapped a hole in the ram. They have then threaded the conrod pin in there, and then they have drilled and knocked in a dowel to stop it from turning. But we don't really need to remove that, and I don't want to risk damaging it, so we're just going to leave it right where it is. So that's our slotting attachment pretty much completely disassembled. Now we're going to get it into the hot wash and give it a clean up.
Oh, don't you want that one? Okay. Whoa, holy moly. Hey, hang on a minute. Yeah, what's this? Come here. Spin around. Oh, yes. Lay down. Roll over. And high five. High five. Good boy. Yeah, what? You left bits everywhere. Hey, what's all this? Oi. You love that one, don't you? Okay, come on. Go.
Now that we've got everything cleaned up, we are able to have a good look at everything, and there is a fair few things that we need to do. All of the bolts and screws we are going to be replacing, and the 4 mounting bolts, because the heads are so damaged, it's just going to be easy to replace those as well. We'll also need to make up that 4th spacer that is missing. There are a few parts that we need to deburr. Because they were left loose, they did create some nasty burrs, so we will need to file all them down. We do have a couple of dowels that need to be replaced as well, because they are not original and they are damaged, and one is broken. And the conrod bearings, they are off the shelf, so we will be replacing those as well. As for the ram, we are just going to give that a Scotch-Brite and clean it up and hopefully remove all those etched areas. And we will also be sandblasting and painting the faceplate and the main housing. But something we did find after we cleaned it is there are 2 cracks inside the housing, and they are not in a good spot. So it is cracked on the thrust face where the drive arbor sits. One side does have a fracture in it and the other side has opened up quite a lot, and it is ready to break out. So I'm actually not surprised we found that, considering the other damage we have already found. What it looks like has happened is that little dowel that holds the slide for the conrod, when it has broken, it has allowed that slide to fall down in between that gap while it has been running, and it has collected the housing and done that damage. So even though this is cracked, I do know I can fix it by welding it up. What I need to do is send the housing up to a company in Brisbane who can test the metal to tell us exactly what grade of cast iron it is and what it is made up of, so we can then choose a filler material to make this a successful repair. Hopefully the next time you see this, we'll be welding it up and machining it and putting this back together. But you'll have to stay tuned for that video. Thanks for watching.
Got it?
Right, ready? How you going, guys? Kurtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. So today we're going to be doing a... My brain went, no. Just need a moment. It's hot, it's clammy. So that's our face place. Oh, face place. So that's oh my god. So that's the ram removed from the housing. Now we can, righto. Right, we're also just gonna, fuck me.
This is going to be a long day, man.
It shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't, but I know what's taking it to be so long. Oh my god, man.
This is fucking awkward as fuck.
What is going on? Just keep going.
It's doing my fucking head in.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
It's not funny. These bolts are what mount the attachment to the unit. There's lots of noises going on. These bolts are what mount the fucking noises around me.
Just keep going.
All right. So that's the face plate, and because of the
Something's wrong.
He gets paid by how many bangs he makes.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And how long is this going to go on for?
Another 3 months or something. Are you fucking kidding?
Oh, there we go. It's stuck. It's stuck.
Rock stuck in the bucket.
Is the head stuck?
One of the doors are stuck.
Doors?
Yeah, it's got 2 doors underneath it, two
Oh, okay. To release the material.
Yeah, so they'll go down, they'll auger in, come back up, pull the doors, drop the material, close the doors and put back down the hole. That's how you broke the door. Oh no, he's going back down the tube.
He's got it sorted now.